Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to Lamplight City. And in the last episode, we got our first official suspect in the case, guys. Juliette Montgomery had both the means and the motive to put her mother, Madam Duprée, into the death-like state so she could be buried alive. But we also found out via Amelie, the servant girl, that Duprée had a penchant for beating the servants, which just adds to this kind of nightmare view we're getting of this woman who has this wholesome image to the public. Now, we need to go ahead and find out more about Guy and Celine, who were apparently two servants who disappeared like 2 to 3 months, respectively. And return to Upton and accuse Juliette Montgomery? I don't want to do that yet. Speak to Jean Duprée. Investigate the Chesterton tomb. I think we'd already investigated the tomb. But Andrew doesn't have anything new to add. I think Amelie's too scared to say anything more. Let's go ahead and see if the doctor has anything new. Oh, it's kind of creepy to see her sitting there, knowing what we know about her.
Her eyes are glazed over and she's got a vacant, expressionless stare. She seems completely oblivious to her surroundings. If we didn't know she'd been buried alive, I'd say she was just exhibiting the typical symptoms of your average rich person. This quack hasn't got anything more for us to learn right now.
No, fair enough. Now the question is, where do we go from here? Let's go ahead and talk to Jean.
Oh, Mr. Fordham, you're back.
He might know something.
Can we talk, Mr. Duprée?
I suppose so. Yes.
Ooh.
Do you fear your wife, Mr. Duprée?
Do I... what?
The question's quite simple. Are you afraid of Madame Duprée?
Why in the ether would you think that?
Amelie told me you were. You're clearly afraid of your own shadow? Ugh. No, we're not throwing Amelie under the bus. She was terrified of people finding out. And we don't want to say that he's afraid of his own shadow because he has guns in here. Let's go ahead and leave that for right now.
I'll get back to you on that. Tell me what you know about Guy Dumas and Celine.
I'm sure I have no idea what you're talking about.
They were former servants of yours. Do you not remember them?
Oh, I remember them. I just have nothing to say about them.
I've met some bad liars in my day, but this guy really takes the cake. We'll get him, somehow.
I'll be going now.
Au revoir, Mr. Fordham.
I'm not sure. Maybe we have to get some sort of item. Like I said, I don't want to accuse Amelie. I guess let's head back to the crypt. It's like we're missing something in here if the game keeps on telling us to...
That nest is full of eggs. But where's the mother bird?
Perhaps she abandoned it.
Always assuming the worst, aren't you, Miles?
The skylight...
John Patrick Chesterton, 1740 to 1825. Patriarch.
No.
Desmond Chesterton, 1745 to 18... Jane Scott Chesterton, 1746 to 18... William Arthur Chesterton, 1770 to 1837.
No.
Celine, 1823 to 1844.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Taken too soon. Rest ye with the angels.
You don't suppose...
Nah.
Okay.
Sarah Chesterton, 1784 to 1812. I told you I was sick. Douglas Chesterton, 1791 to 1840.
This must be what was going to be Madam...
I don't see any...
What? Were you...
No.
Yeah, we'd already
Dale
seen that.
Chesterton.
There's just Celine with no last name there. Alright, let's head back. Who could we talk to about that? Who would have that info? Maybe... I mean, if she's buried in the crypt, then she definitely... Then someone knew that she
Hello
died.
again, Miss Montgomery. Mind answering a few more questions?
Hello, Mr. Fordham. Not at all.
There we go.
Do you know Guy Dumas?
Yes, he was one of our servants. He used to enjoy reading my books, as well as Andrew's.
When did you see him last?
Just last week, he came by to see me and asked to borrow some books.
Do you know where I might be able to find him?
Not really. I get the impression that he moves around frequently. But I can tell him you're looking for him next time I see him, if you like.
Please do. Although hopefully I'll be able to find him before then. Were you friends with Celine, the maid?
Yes, I was quite fond of Celine. She was so sweet and interesting to talk to. One day, she just left the house with no explanation. Mother said it was because she had found work elsewhere. I was terribly saddened. I wish I'd had the chance to say goodbye to her, at least. What's your interest in her?
Oh, I was just curious, that's all. No more questions for now.
Then if you don't mind, I have work to do.
So... Guy has been grabbing some of her books. The jail...
Nothing else to ask him?
No. Maybe with her?
Welcome back, Mr. Fordham.
She's not going to be much help right now. Best not to bother her.
Oh, we can't even ask her about the curtain. Ew. We'll just go down the line here. Ooh. Oh, that's right. She had her appointment. Just wanted to double check everything. You don't lose anything for being thorough. At least not in most games. Well, we may have to go ahead and confront Jean. Duprée Manor, there's nothing else there.
This quack.
Yeah. I'm gonna check with Amelie one more time. Maybe talk to the parrot? Nope.
So long, Birdie.
Bye-bye!
You figure if you brought up some names to the parrot would say something about them.
As amusing as it is to chat with this oddball,
Okay. Oh, we can talk to her again.
Stick around. I may have more questions for you later.
Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere.
Boo. Oh, what was she saying? Oh, she was saying something about spice jars.
looks like the type of spices you'd use in a stew. Most likely paprika or turmeric. Nice variety of reds and oranges.
Yeah, there was like a book. Let's head upstairs real quick. Now that we were told that information. And, oh, wait a minute. That may have been... I saw an orange.
The science of pharmacology. Yeah, I'm sure it's riveting stuff.
Alright, nothing there. I think the books were missing, weren't they?
I've never seen so many...
The vanity, papers... Bookcase. Choice and consequence. There we go.
Well, this should be the book Amelie mentioned. Well, what have we here?
A whip. And it has dried blood on it. How ghastly.
Holy
This
crap.
house is just full of secrets, isn't it?
Okay. Well then. That is an interesting thing to have a secret passage for, or secret compartment. So I would bet this is what we
As amusing as...
this is what we confront Jean with. I'll bet you money. Let's go ahead and can we just go straight to the location? Yes, we can.
Oh, Mr. Fordham, you're back.
Let's see.
Can we talk, Mr. Duprée?
I suppose so. Yes.
Mr. Duprée, be honest with me. Are you afraid of your wife?
Here you go again with that ridiculous question. Why would you think I fear my wife?
Aha.
I'd be afraid of someone who kept a bloody whip in my bedroom. Care to explain that?
You don't know her like I do. No one does. Well, no one aside from the servants, I suppose. She's cruel, Mr. Fordham. Crueler than anyone or anything I've ever seen.
Tell me more about Madame Dupree's cruelty.
She treats the servants like animals, Mr. Fordham. She would say the most vile, awful things to them. Things I would expect to hear on the Gascon docks, not from the lips of a grande dame. And the beatings. Oh, God. The screams I would hear from somewhere in the house. I never dared find out where.
Nobody else ever heard the screaming?
No. She was cunning. She would do it when no one else was around. Once she knew I had heard, she threatened me. Told me she would...
Yes?
She threatened to expose my secret, Mr. Fordham.
And what secret is that?
Our marriage is one of convenience. It's all for show. Laura has herself a well-to-do husband, and I am a normal man in the eyes of society.
I see. I suppose that would explain a few things.
Well, now, how was that not obvious to you? The soporific is really having a bad effect on you.
Don't worry, Mr. Duprée. Your secret's safe with me.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham.
Tell me what you know about Guy Dumas and Celine.
Celine had an accident.
What kind of accident?
Laura thought Celine had been stealing her silverware. She got a bit carried away with a beating and...
Duprée killed Celine?
Yes, she did.
Holy crap.
In order to keep it quiet, she had Celine placed in our family tomb.
I see. What about Guy?
I don't know. I never saw him again after that.
Well, this case has certainly taken a turn for the sinister.
I'll be going now.
Au revoir, Mr. Fordham.
So now we have our confirmation. Now we can go ahead and head to the tomb. And we'll see... Well, I don't know what... Oh, I figured Guy would be here.
Celine, 1823 to 1844. Taken too soon. Rest ye with the angels.
Wait a minute. This is Celine, the maid. Somehow a piece of paper got wedged into the side of the vault.
Pull on the paper. Use tweezers on the paper. Ooh. I forgot that we had tweezers.
Carefully now. Got it! Nice work, Fordham. Now to see what this is.
Interesting.
Leaving notes for the dead. How very touching. I wonder if anyone has left me one at my grave.
Quiet, Bill. I need to think. We know this note is likely from Guy. Now we just need to figure out where to find him.
Is there anything on the other side of that piece of paper?
Bill, you're a genius.
I wouldn't give me all the credit just yet.
Let's see. A receipt for an extended stay at the Stun Arms. Does that sound familiar at all?
Vaguely. But I can't recall anything off the top of my head.
Looks like we'll have to do a bit more searching.
Cool. We got some documents added. Nothing else. Cool. Well, I figured this would probably be the best time to go ahead and talk to our contact. Because she would probably know. then we can go from there.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
Review case. Oh, we can wrap up case.
I wanted to go over the case with you.
Okay, what have you got?
I found this note in the Chesterton tomb. I think it was left by the person who attacked Madame Duprée.
Nice work. Sounds like you're about ready to wrap things up.
I will be as soon as I find him. Take a look at the other side of it.
Part of a receipt for a hotel?
Yes, but the name is only partially visible at the bottom.
Stun Arms. The only hotel that comes to mind is the Boston Arms in Chumley.
Of course! I knew the name sounded familiar. The stories I could tell you about that place. Not right now, of course.
You're helpful as always, Upton. Thank you.
Good luck, Fordham. I hope you find your suspect.
I like the fact...
That's enough about the case for now.
Oh.
Okay.
I like the fact that our contact is actually very useful.
That's it, I think.
Then you'd better get back to it.
Well, I guess we got a new location to check out. Yes, indeed, the Boston Arms.
Who is it?
Be discreet. Be forceful.
Mr. Dumas, listen to me. I don't want to make this into more of an issue than it should be, but I believe it's in your best interest to let me in so I can speak with you.
Don't run
Just
out.
a moment.
Don't go out the window. Okay.
I'm Miles Fordham, a private investigator. It's extremely important I speak with you, Mr. Dumas.
What do you want?
Just to talk. May I come in?
Yes, I suppose so.
I found your note in St. Denis Cemetery. Care to explain what it means?
How did you...
I'm a private investigator, Mr. Dumas. It's what I do. Now we can either do this the easy way or the hard way. It's up to you.
I left that note for Celine. I didn't think anyone would ever find it.
So it was you who attacked Madame Duprée?
Yes, it was me. I confess.
I can't remember the last time a suspect actually confessed. If only they were all like this.
Right?
But please, Mr. Fordham, you have to understand. The woman is evil. If only you knew what she did. Please, don't arrest me, Mr. Fordham. You have to know the truth about Madame Duprée.
Relax, Mr. Dumas. I'm not going to arrest you just yet. I'm perfectly willing to hear your side of the story. Now let's take this nice and slow. What can you tell me about Madame Duprée?
She seemed like a nice woman at first, but after working for her, I came to know how awful she truly was. When no one was around, she would beat me and some of the other servants for fun, say the most cruel things, call us horrible names.
Why didn't you just leave?
She threatened us, told us she would make it impossible for us to get work anywhere else. It's already difficult enough getting a job that doesn't force you to operate those awful machines. To be blacklisted by Madame Duprée would have been the final nail in the coffin.
How did you come to be employed by Madame Duprée?
I used to work in an iron factory in Chumley, but a few years ago, they brought in some steam machines to help production. One of the machines had a problem, and my friend Connor and I were assigned to fix it. We had no idea what we were doing, but we wanted to keep our jobs. I don't know what happened, but the next thing I knew, Connor was dead, and I was badly hurt. I swore never to go near one of those machines again. After I got better, I spent a few months looking for work, but it was impossible to find any jobs that didn't involve steam tech. Then I found out about Madame Duprée. Working at her home seemed like an improvement. I had a decent bed to sleep in, the work was not difficult, and I even made friends with her daughter. But Madame Duprée soon showed her true nature.
Suckered people in.
Tell me about Celine.
Oh, my dear Celine. She was the most beautiful thing I ever saw. We were going to get married, you know. Then that devil killed her. She beat her to death in front of me. I was powerless to do anything. Please, Mr. Fordham, I don't want to remember. Let us speak of something else.
Do you know Albert Martin?
No. Who is that?
He's Juliet's lover, falsely accused of the crime you committed.
I had no idea.
Are you going to let an innocent man die because of what you did?
No, of course not. I suppose things got out of hand. It was not my intention for someone else to take the blame for my actions.
So why did you attack Madame Duprée in the way you did?
I knew that if I went to her home and killed her, I would be caught and thrown in jail. I needed to find a way to do it quietly and not make anyone suspicious. Also, I wanted her to suffer for what she did to my Celine. I had read about toxic plants in Juliet's schoolbooks, and I knew a bit about them from working as a gardener. So I decided to poison Duprée and make her appear dead so she could be buried alive and suffer the same way she made us when she would lock us away in her secret room.
Whoa.
Did you say secret room?
Yes, Mr. Fordham. It was no bigger than a coffin. She would place us inside if she was especially mad at us, with no food or water, sometimes for days at a time. We couldn't scream because she would stuff our mouths. She would also plug our ears and cover our faces.
How often did she put you in there?
Only a few times, but that was more than enough. I'd rather not think about it.
So you have no idea where it is?
None. I only remember Madame Duprée would say the same thing any time she was about to put someone in there. A perfect servant must behave. I've told you everything, Mr. Fordham. Are you still going to arrest me?
I haven't quite decided yet, Mr. Dumas. If I can find this secret room, it would be enough to charge Madame Duprée with a crime. However, if you haven't been telling me the truth...
I have been, Mr. Fordham. I swear it. I'll even make you a deal. If you promise me you'll try to find the secret room, I won't leave this hotel.
All right, Dumas, it's a deal.
Well, at least now we can go straight to Upton and have him taken in. Unless you really do believe him about the secret room.
Oh, I do. Very much so. So we have another... We can just...
That's all for right now, but I'll be back.
Yes, Mr. Fordham. I'll be here.
I love this, because it's the point and click mixed with the Sherlock Holmes games that you can just kind of... Ooh.
Seems to be what passes for a dresser around here. Either that or Dumas is secretly a pirate.
Yar.
If there's one thing I can't stand, it's crooked paintings. It appears someone is due for 7 years of bad luck.
All right. Well, let's hope that he doesn't dive out the window. A perfect servant must behave. Let's see. Wouldn't be... It has to be somewhere here at the manor.
This fountain probably looked nicer when it was working, but right now it's just a breeding ground for mosquitoes. This quack...
Okay. Where would it be? Ah, this is where we talk to the parrot.
A perfect servant must behave.
And now you'll taste an early grave. Me sofa, Ray. In the middle, see?
Huh.
So long, Birdie.
Bye-bye.
As amusing...
Okay, upstairs. Wait, hold on.
And now you'll taste me sofa, Ray. In the middle, see?
So long.
The sofa ray. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I'm trying to remember what the notes are. Give me 1 sec, guys. Okay, so I looked at the notes, and it's EGFD for me sofa ray. So, E, G, F, D. Ah, curses. Let's try that again. Or maybe it's... Oh, it may be the middle.
And now me sofa, Ray. In the middle, see?
Okay.
So long.
So if it's me, sofa, Ray... Let me double check this to make sure. Because if it's so
Oh,
far...
dear God.
Oh, sorry, that was the poetry. Me... Oh. Me, G, F, D. Okay, so GF maybe together? As you can see, I don't know a whole lot about music, which is weird considering the fact that I used to play the trombone. And somewhat decently too, but I was like in 6th grade, so... Alright. Oh, middle C. High C. Oh, in the middle C. Ah, okay. I gotcha. Okay, so... E... G... F... D... Middle... C. That do it? Ah! Alright, let me double check my work again. There we go. It's all here
That seems to have done something.
past the middle C.
Dear God!
Hell's bells.
This does not look good. He's dead. You should inform Dr. Fellows about this right away.
It seems Guy was telling the truth after all.
Yes, it would probably be a good idea to let him know of this development.
Yeah. And the manor is not here. So he was right about his secret chamber, and he's here.
Guy?
Yes?
I found the secret room you told me about.
You see? I wasn't lying.
No, you certainly weren't. There was someone inside. A man.
No. Who?
I'm not sure, but I can only assume it was one of Madame Dupree's servants.
Was he alright?
I'm afraid not. He was dead. Dr. Fellows confirmed it was due to asphyxiation.
Madame Duprée must have put him in there before I drugged her. And then, with everything that's happened, she didn't let him out in time. Oh my God. It's my fault he's dead. If only I'd known.
The circumstances are quite unfortunate, Mr. Dumas. However, this has shed a new light on Madame Duprée and her cruel practices. I can't say for certain that you were justified in your actions, but I am a bit reluctant to say you were completely at fault. But the bottom fact is that Mr. Martin has been falsely accused of this crime. If I were to let you go, he would be punished in your place. Unless...
Yes?
I'm going to need you to write me a letter, Mr. Dumas.
Of course, Mr. Fordham. Anything to take care of this mess.
It's kind of like a written confession.
Good. Hopefully now this whole grim affair can be brought to an end. That's all for right now, but I'll be back.
Yes, Mr. Fordham. I'll be here.
Okay, I bet now that we would go to the coffee house. Let's go ahead and look at our objectives one more time. Return and accuse Juliet or Guy. Alrighty.
Can we talk?
Go on, I'm listening.
I think I'm ready to wrap this case up.
Okay, who's your prime suspect?
Juliet Montgomery, and then we can choose to condemn or acquit Guy, which, considering everything that happened, I think we're going to go ahead and acquit him.
It was Guy Dumas, a former servant at Duprée Manor. He used toxic plants to drug Madame Duprée so she appeared dead, which he learned about from her daughter's schoolbooks.
What was his motive?
That's the thing. I've learned that Madame Duprée is extremely cruel to her servants. She regularly beats them, and even has a secret room no bigger than a coffin where she places them as punishment. I discovered this secret room and found a dead servant inside. He had died from asphyxiation.
My God.
A few months ago, Madame Duprée beat Guy's lover Celine to death. He wanted revenge and intended to make Madame Duprée suffer the trauma of being interred alive.
I see.
Constance, I don't think Dumas should be arrested for his crime. He doesn't deserve it. Madame Duprée, however...
Yes, I see what you're saying, and I agree, but what about Mr. Martin?
I got a signed confession from Mr. Dumas. You can see the handwriting matches this note I found in the cemetery. That should be enough to release Mr. Martin, as well as giving Guy a head start in his escape from the city.
It's going to be tricky getting the department to look into this, but with the proof you've gathered, it should work. Excellent investigating, Fordham. I knew you still had it in you. And of course, I'll dip into the department's Good Samaritan fund to get you proper compensation for your work.
Huzzah!
For now, go home to your wife. I'm sure I'll have something else for you to look into fairly soon.
Devil Incarnate.
Good evening. I'm looking for Madam Laura Duprée.
This is Madam Duprée. I am her personal physician, Dr. Fellows. May we help you, officer?
I'm afraid I must place Madam Duprée under arrest.
What? On what charge?
Several, actually. Manslaughter, domestic violence, murder in the second degree. Shall I go on, or can we continue this at the police station?
Oh, I thought she was going to jump out of her chair.
You won't have to worry about Madame Duprée anymore. She'll be in jail for a very long time. And Mr. Martin has been released with a full pardon as well.
Thank you, Mr. Fordham. I appreciate your help and your trust.
Think nothing of it, but you'll need to leave town as soon as you can. Have you made plans?
I was thinking of heading south. New Britannia is too cold and dark. I want to find someplace more like my home.
Well, I wish you the best of luck, Mr. Dumas.
Yes, indeed.
Addie, I'm home. Addie?
She must still be out at her hairdressing appointment.
Yep.
I'm glad we're alone because I wanted to talk to you about something.
Yes, Bill, I know. I told you I'm doing my best to try and find the flower shop burglar.
No, for once, this isn't about him. This is about you.
Ooh.
You want to talk about me? What about me?
You can play dumb and deflect all you like with everyone else around you, but it won't work with me. I know exactly what you're thinking, and you know exactly what I'm going to say.
You want to talk about how we did on this case?
Yes, that's exactly right. Have you already forgotten the old days, Miles? Before I died, we were solving cases like nobody's business. You were one of the best detectives on the force. But ever since you started taking that soporific, your mind hasn't been as sharp as before. If you're serious about taking on more complex cases, you need to listen to Adelaide and stop taking it. It's already had a negative effect on your performance.
What are you talking about? We were able to discover the truth about Madame Duprée.
Yes, but if you were working at your full abilities, you'd have come to that conclusion much sooner.
I don't see
If
how.
I stop taking it, you won't let me sleep through the night. Nothing will change.
Well, things would change if you found you-know-who.
I thought you said we weren't going to talk about that right now.
Yeah, well, I say a lot of things.
An understatement if ever there was one. Can't you just keep quiet without me having to take something?
Afraid not, old friend. That's just not who I am or how this works.
If you keep me up all night, I'll go crazy. Things have been hard enough as it is. And if, God forbid, Adelaide were ever to find out about...
Hello, Miles. Is there someone else here? I thought I heard you talking just now.
Whoops.
Fantastic. The jig is up. And here I thought we were doing so well, too.
No, I was just going over the case. Thinking aloud, you see.
Ah, of course.
How was your appointment?
Mrs. Lefebvre was her usual bossy and overly picky self, but she gave me a very generous tip.
That's good.
So I stopped by the shop on the way home and bought a new deck of cards.
Excellent. Shall we have a few rounds of écarté? I believe you demanded a rematch last time we played.
Yes, that would be nice.
Well, you certainly managed to dodge that bullet. I only wish I could say the same.
Oh. Alrighty. Well, that's the first case done, guys. 2 weeks later.
And it says here they still don't know what caused that explosion.
I guarantee you it was sabotage. Those Redites have been causing a lot of trouble lately.
Is that the group of anti-steam tech radicals?
The very same.
Why Redites, though?
They're named after some fellow named Jonathan Red. Apparently the one who began the whole anti-steam movement.
Luddites.
It's really a rather stupid name, if you ask me. And uncreative, to boot.
Well, what would you call them, then?
I'll tell you what, guys. We're going to go ahead and end the episode here, and we'll pick this up next time. If you guys liked the video, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. That'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.